In living color, 1990. Cast then and now, 2025. Who are unrecognizable. Today, 35 years ago, In Living Color shattered TV norms and launched some of the greatest black talents of our generation. But what if I told you that many of the faces you remember from 1990 are now almost impossible to recognize? Fame, struggle, triumph, and time have transformed these legends in ways that will leave you stunned. Some rose higher than anyone imagined. Others disappeared from the spotlight entirely. Before we reveal who changed the most hits, subscribe, tap that notification bell, and join us on Legends of Black Excellence, where history meets truth and every story demands to be seen. Damon Wayans. When In Living Color exploded onto American television in 1990, Damon Wayans stood at the center of the storm. At just 30 years old, he brought to life some of the show's most unforgettable characters, none more iconic than Homie D. Clown, the chaotic truth-telling ex-con in grease paint, who became a cultural symbol almost overnight. Back then, Damon was sharp-faced, electric, with energy, and fearless on camera. His quick wit and physical humor helped define the identity of the entire series and made him one of the most recognizable black comedians of the 1990s. Fans remember that swagger, the bouncing walk, the mischievous stare, and the lines that audiences still quote decades later. For many viewers, Damon Wayans was in living color. As the years passed, both the man and the image began to change. In place of the lean, hyperactive young comic emerged a calmer, more thoughtful presence. Damon's career continued to climb after. In Living Color ended films like Major Payne, 1995, the hit sitcom My Wife and Kids, 2001 to 2005, and the TV reboot of Lethal Weapon, 2016 to 2019, showcased his talent not just as a performer, but as a creator, writer, and producer. Physically, the transformation is easy to see: closer cropped hair, a fuller face, a more measured way of speaking. The wild edge of the 90s has given way to a seasoned composure that only time and experience can create. Behind that transformation lies a story of pressure, persistence, and reinvention. Damon has lived through the grind of network television, the expectations of a famous comedy family, and the realities of aging in Hollywood. He has navigated health concerns, shifting industry trends, and the challenge of staying relevant without becoming a caricature of his younger self. Instead of fading, he chose to evolve, working alongside his son, Damon Wayans Jr., on new projects and mentoring younger performers who grew up watching him. In any true then and now look at the In Living Color cast, Damon Wayans stands out as one of the most striking examples of change. Not because scandal reshaped him, but because life did. From the rebellious, unpredictable Homie D. Clown to a respected elder statesman of comedy, his journey shows how a once instantly recognizable face can seem almost different at first glance. Yet the creative fire that made him a legend still burns just beneath the surface. David Alan Grier. When In Living Color premiered in 1990, David Alan Grier arrived as one of the most versatile performers on the cast, sharp, disciplined, and armed with a classical theater background that set him apart. At 35, he brought a polished energy to Calhoun Tubbs, Antoine Merriweather, and dozens of characters who blended silliness with sophistication. Audiences loved the way he could switch from blues singer to book critic to clueless everyman in seconds. Back then, Grier carried a youthful confidence, a neatly trimmed mustache, and a lean frame that matched the rapid-fire pace of the show. He wasn't just a comedian, he was a trained actor navigating the wild world of sketch comedy with precision. As the years moved on, David Alan Grier's path evolved far beyond his early days on Fox. He built a strong resume that proved his range films like Jumanji, 1995, stage work on Broadway, and a long list of television roles. His theatrical discipline never left him, and it led to achievements many sketch performers only dream of, including a Tony Award in 2021 for his performance in A Soldier's Play. Along the way, his appearance naturally shifted. The youthful comic of the early 90s gradually transformed into a dignified, silver-bearded veteran whose commanding presence instantly communicates experience. It's a striking contrast to the high-energy performer viewers once watched sprinting across the in living color stage. Behind that transformation is a journey shaped by decades of dedication and reinvention. David Alan Grier had to navigate the tension between his serious theater roots and the unpredictable world of television comedy. Over time, he embraced both sides, becoming equally comfortable delivering punchlines on late-night shows or embodying powerful dramatic roles on Broadway. His personal life included its own changes, marriages, fatherhood, and the constant balancing act that comes with sustaining a long career in show business. Yet through all of it, he remained steady, committed, and unquestionably respected by peers across comedy and drama. In any true then and now look at the In Living Color cast, David Alan Grier stands out as one of the transformations that may surprise longtime fans. Not because he disappeared, but because he matured into something far beyond the characters he once played. The quick-witted blues singer with one-line songs is now a seasoned, award-winning artist whose depth and gravitas make him almost unrecognizable compared to his 1990 self-proof that talent, when nurtured over decades, doesn't fade. It evolves. Tommy Davidson. Tommy Davidson was one of In Living Color's brightest sparks from the moment he stepped onto the Fox stage. At just 27, he delivered a whirlwind of impressions, rapid-fire jokes, and infectious energy that made him instantly memorable. His Sammy Davis Jr. impersonation, smooth, exaggerated, and brilliantly timed, became one of the show's signature highlights. Small in stature but enormous in presence, Tommy moved across the screen with a fearlessness that could only come from raw, natural talent. For viewers of the early 90s, he was the young, quick-stepping dynamo who could shift from musical parody to stand-up rhythm in a heartbeat, a performer who radiated pure joy every time he appeared. As time carried forward, Tommy's journey took him far beyond sketch comedy. He transitioned into film with projects like Booty Call 1997 and found a beloved second act as the voice of Oscar Proud in Disney's The Proud Family. His appearance, too, changed with age. The baby-faced comedian of 1990 grew into a seasoned entertainer with more defined features and a mature presence. What remains is his unmistakable smile, but the youthful looseness has transformed into a grounded confidence, the kind that comes only from decades of both triumphs and trials. Behind his transformation lies a deeper story, one that shows how remarkable his longevity truly is. Tommy Davidson's early life was filled with adversity. He was adopted as an infant after a difficult start, and the identity questions he carried through childhood followed him into adulthood. The pressures of rising fame, personal struggles, and the fast pace of Hollywood at times weighed heavily on him. Yet instead of breaking, he rebuilt. He overcame challenges, embraced sobriety, and carved out a stable family life that brought him a sense of peace he once thought impossible. His career may have shifted gears over the years, but his spirit remained unshaken. That is why Tommy Davidson stands out in any then and now look at the In Living Color cast. The boyish prodigy from 1990 has become a resilient, introspective performer whose evolution is striking. To longtime fans, his 2025 self may seem almost unrecognizable at first glance, but his voice, humor, and heart remain exactly the same. His journey reveals a man who didn't just survive the industry, he grew stronger because of it. Kim Wayans. Kim Wayans emerged on In Living Color as a force all her own, sharp-tongued, quick-witted, and completely unafraid to steal a scene. At 29, she stepped into characters like Bonita Butrell, the neighborhood gossip who swore she didn't like to gossip even as she dismantled everyone in sight. With expressive eyes, sly timing, and a comedic confidence equal to her famous brothers, she proved she wasn't just part of the Wayans dynasty, she was a reason it worked. In those early years, Kim carried a youthful spark, lean, animated, and filled with an electricity that made her performances feel spontaneous and dangerously funny. As the years unfolded, Kim Wayans quietly but steadily reshaped her career. She moved beyond sketch comedy into dramatic roles, writing, producing, and even publishing children's books with the Amy Hodgepodge series. Her appearance naturally evolved along with her work. The bright-eyed young comedian of 1990 transformed into a poised, elegant, creative professional whose maturity shows not just in her features, but in the calm confidence she now brings to each project. While she made fewer on-screen appearances than some of her brothers, her versatility allowed her to navigate Hollywood on her own terms, often behind the camera, often choosing depth over spotlight. Her transformation also reflects personal battles and resilience. Being one of only 2 women in a large, male-dominated comedy family brought challenges that were rarely visible to the public. Kim often worked twice as hard for the same recognition, carving out space for herself while advocating for more meaningful roles for Black women. Over time, she built a life grounded in stability, long-term partnership, and creative freedom. Whether writing, performing, or mentoring younger artists, she consistently chose authenticity over fame, an approach that shaped her into the grounded figure she is now. In any true then and now, look at the In Living Color cast. Kim Wayans stands out as one of the most quietly powerful evolutions. The high-energy comic who once tore into her characters with fearless gusto has matured into a thoughtful storyteller, writer, and mentor. To longtime fans revisiting the 1990 episodes, her 2025 self may appear almost unrecognizable at first glance. But beneath the evolution is the same sharp mind, the same comedic instinct, and the same brilliance that helped define one of television's most groundbreaking shows. Shawn Wayans. Shawn Wayans entered In Living Color as the youngest member of the Wayans comedy empire, just 19 years old and still finding his place within a family already bursting with talent. On the show, he first appeared as DJ SW1, the quiet, observant in-house DJ, who gradually slipped into sketches and revealed a natural comedic rhythm of his own. In those early years, he looked every bit the fresh-faced kid brother, slender, shy, smiling, and eager to keep up with the big comedic personalities surrounding him. Yet even then, there was a spark, a careful confidence that hinted he was studying everything, preparing for something bigger. As the 1990s turned into the 2000s, Shawn's career bloomed far beyond the edges of In Living Color. Teaming up with his brother Marlon, he co-wrote and starred in massive hits like Scary Movie 2000, White Chicks 2004, and Little Man 2006. His appearance changed as well. The boyish look gave way to a more mature, sculpted presence. The soft features of his youth sharpened into the face of a Hollywood leading man, and the quiet DJ of the early 90s evolved into a confident writer, producer, and star. For many fans revisiting old clips, the contrast between the teen behind the turntables and the polished figure on modern red carpets can be surprising. But behind that transformation is a story shaped by pressure and reinvention. As the 9th of 10 siblings, Shawn grew up in the shadow of a powerhouse family name. With success came expectations. Expectations to outdo previous hits, to carry the Wayans legacy, to always be bigger and funnier than before. That pressure eventually pushed him to step back from Hollywood, choosing peace over the relentless grind of public life. Away from the spotlight, he focused on family writing and reconnecting with what mattered most. His return to entertainment has been gradual, deliberate, and grounded in experience rather than youthful urgency. Shawn Wayans stands out in any then and now. Look at the In Living Color cast, because his transformation reflects a shift from youthful background player to seasoned creative force. The teenager fans once barely noticed behind the DJ booth has become a soft-spoken architect of modern comedy. To those who remember him from 1990, the man he is now may seem almost unrecognizable, but the talent, discipline, and quiet brilliance that carried him forward have been there from the very beginning. Keenen Ivory Wayans. Keenen Ivory Wayans was the steady hand, sharp mind, and fearless architect behind In Living Color. At 32, he wasn't just another cast member, he was the show's creator, host, and guiding force, shaping a groundbreaking series that blended satire, social commentary, and unapologetic humor. On screen, Keenen carried a sleek, athletic look and a calm, laser-focused presence. Off-screen, he orchestrated the writing room, directed sketches, and mentored a young cast that included his own siblings, Jim Carrey and Jamie Foxx. In those early days, he looked every bit the visionary, lean, intense, and committed to building something television had never seen before. As the years progressed, Keenan's role in entertainment evolved from performer to powerhouse. After leaving In Living Color, he co-created the Scary Movie franchise in 2000, a box office juggernaut that cemented the Wayans family as a comedic dynasty. His appearance shifted with time. The clean-shaven, sharply dressed host of 1990 matured into a more seasoned figure with a thoughtful demeanor and the quiet assurance of someone who helped change the landscape of comedy. While he stepped away from on-camera work, his influence grew behind the scenes, shaping films, shows, and opportunities for the next generation of performers. His transformation also reflects the weight of leadership and legacy. As the eldest of 10 siblings, Keenan carried the responsibility of opening doors not just for his family, but for countless black comedians searching for a platform in a system that often overlooked them. The battles behind In Living Color. Creative Control Network, pushback, and the pressure of breaking new ground left their mark. Yet those challenges fueled a career built on intention and innovation. He raised 5 children, crafted stories on his own terms, and learned to balance ambition with personal well-being. His evolution is not dramatic, it is deliberate, grounded, and earned. In any true then and now reflection on the In Living Color cast, Keenan Ivory Wayans stands out as one of the most striking transformations. The young creator who once commanded the stage with quiet authority has grown into a respected elder statesman of comedy, a man whose influence stretches far beyond the show that made him famous. To fans revisiting the series, his 2025 appearance may seem almost unrecognizable at first glance, but his creative fingerprints remain on every corner of modern sketch comedy. His legacy didn't fade. It evolved into something far bigger than the man we first saw in 1990. Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx arrived on In Living Color in 1991 like a bolt of unpredictable lightning. At just 24, he slipped into the outrageous persona of Wanda, the bold, unfiltered woman who terrified and entertained every man she set her sights on. Beneath the wig's wild outfits and exaggerated expressions was a young performer overflowing with talent, sharp comedic instincts, musical ability, and a fearlessness that set him apart. In those early years, Foxx looked youthful and mischievous with a slim frame, fast smile, and the kind of raw stage presence that made audiences wonder how long it would take before Hollywood came calling. Even among a star-studded cast, Jamie had a spark that signaled he was destined for something far bigger. As the 1990s gave way to the 2000s, that spark erupted into full-fledged stardom. Jamie Foxx evolved from sketch comedian to dramatic heavyweight, earning global acclaim for Ray 2004, which won him the Academy Award for Best Actor. His appearance transformed right along with his career. Gone was the expressive Wanda glare, replaced by a polished, confident leading man with sharper features, a stronger build, and the charisma of someone who commanded stages, screens, and recording studios. Films like Collateral, Django Unchained, and Just Mercy cemented him as one of the rare entertainers who could master comedy, drama, action, and music with equal force. Yet behind the success was a journey marked by resilience and reinvention. Jamie's life has included its share of personal challenges, including the pressure of maintaining a multidisciplined career and navigating public scrutiny. His family life, fatherhood, and long years under the Hollywood spotlight shaped him into someone more introspective than the energetic young man audiences first met in the early 90s. And while much of his personal life remains private, as he's always intended, his work ethic and versatility have remained constants throughout decades of cultural shifts and industry changes. In any then and now, look at the In Living Color cast. Jamie Foxx stands out as one of the most striking transformations. The young comic who once used humor as armor has grown into a multi-award-winning performer with a legacy that stretches across film, television, and music. To longtime fans revisiting the old sketches, his 2025 self may seem almost unrecognizable compared to the man who once played Wanda, but his brilliance, ambition, and fearless artistry have only deepened with time. Takaya Crystal Kima. Takaya Crystal Kima brought a unique elegance and versatility to In Living Color, becoming one of the few cast members who appeared throughout all 5 seasons. At 28, she stepped into the series with a graceful presence and an expressive face that made her characters instantly memorable, whether she was delivering soft-spoken satire, sharp comedic timing, or subtle physical humor. In the early 1990s, she had a youthful glow, wide eyes full of curiosity, and a grounded confidence that set her apart from the louder, more outrageous characters around her. She wasn't just funny. She was precise, thoughtful, and deeply committed to her craft. For many fans, her poised performances added a rich balance to the show's high-energy chaos. As the years unfolded, Takaya's career moved into new territories. She found success in television with roles on Cosby and That's So Raven, building a resume that showed her dramatic depth as well as her comedic lightness. Alongside acting, she expanded into writing, teaching, and directing fields where her calm discipline and artistic intelligence flourished. Naturally, her appearance evolved too. The youthful softness of her 1990 look matured into a refined, distinguished presence. Her voice, once gently playful, gained the warmth and gravitas of a seasoned performer, and her style grew increasingly sophisticated. To viewers who remember her from the show's earliest days, the contrast can be striking, but deeply resonant. Her personal journey also shaped her transformation. Takaya faced challenges that tested both her resilience and her dedication to her craft. Balancing career shifts, health concerns, and family responsibilities demanded strength, discipline, and a willingness to reinvent herself. She embraced artistic independence, creating her own work and cultivating spaces where her voice and the voices of other Black artists could thrive. This quiet leadership, often overlooked in the industry, became a defining part of her legacy as she moved into her later career. For anyone reflecting on the In Living Color cast then and now, Takaya Crystal Kima is one of the most quietly remarkable evolutions. She may appear almost unrecognizable to those who remember her youthful 1990 performances, yet her growth tells a powerful story, the transformation of a young comic talent into a seasoned, multifaceted artist. Her journey is not one of fading, but of expanding proof that some of the most enduring legacies are built not in the spotlight, but through steady, thoughtful evolution. Marlon Wayans. Marlon Wayans entered the entertainment world as the youngest lightning bolt in the Wayans comedy dynasty. Though he wasn't a full-time cast member on In Living Color, he appeared in sketches and absorbed every moment of the creative chaos surrounding his older brothers, Kenan, Damon, Sean, and Kim. In his early 20s, Marlon looked youthful, wiry, and endlessly animated with quick eyes and a natural instinct for physical comedy. Even then, fans could see the makings of a rising star. He blended boyish charm with fearless slapstick, often pushing himself to the edge of absurdity for the sake of a punchline. To viewers familiar with the early Wayans family era, his 1990s presence is frozen in time, restless energy, lean frame, and a mischievous grin that belonged to a young performer hungry to prove himself. As the years passed, Marlon's evolution became one of the most dramatic within the family. He blossomed into a global comedy force, co-creating and starring in hits like Scary Movie 2000, White Chicks 2004, Little Man 2006, and later leading his own sitcom Marlon 2017 to 2018. His appearance shifted from the skinny younger brother into a polished, athletic, and sharply dressed leading man. The youthful wildness softened into a more controlled intensity, and his comedic timing grew layered and strategic. By the mid-2000s, Marlon had transformed not just physically but artistically, establishing himself as one of Hollywood's most versatile comedic storytellers. Behind that transformation lies a personal journey shaped by grief, responsibility, and relentless ambition. The loss of his mother in 2020, combined with the pressures of sustaining a decades-long career, brought a new depth to his work. He became more reflective, more strategic, and more committed to honoring the Wayans family legacy. His stand-up tours in the 2020s showcased a man who had matured emotionally, balancing humor with vulnerability and success with gratitude. The goofy kid of the early 90s had grown into a seasoned performer who understood both the privilege and weight of being part of one of entertainment's most influential black families. In Any Then and Now, look at the In Living Color era. Marlon Wayans stands out as one of the most striking transformations. To longtime fans, his 2025 presence, more centered, more refined, more seasoned, can feel almost unrecognizable compared to the energetic young understudy he once was. Yet at the core, the same fearless comedic spirit remains. Marlon didn't just grow up. He grew into his power, becoming proof that legacy, talent, and time can shape an extraordinary evolution. Kelly Jo Minter. Kelly Jo Minter may not have been a full-time cast member on In Living Color, but she appeared in several sketches and became a recognizable presence in the creative energy of early 1990s television. At that time, she was already known for her standout film roles in A Nightmare on Elm Street 5 and The People Under the Stairs. She carried a natural beauty, sharp, expressive eyes, and the confident posture of a young actress on the rise. Every appearance she made radiated a blend of grit and authenticity, a quality that made her memorable in roles featuring strong, outspoken women. For fans who remember her from her early career, those images of youthful toughness, resilience, and unapologetic attitude remain vivid. Over the years, Kelly Jo gradually stepped back from mainstream Hollywood to focus on family life and smaller creative projects. Her appearance evolved noticeably with time. The sharp lines and youthful glow of her earlier years softened into a more mature, composed presence. She appeared less frequently on screen, but when she did, her performances carried a richer emotional depth shaped by life experience. For those who only remember her from her spirited teenaged or 20-something characters, her present-day look can be surprising, quietly dignified, grounded, and unmistakably grown. Her transformation is also tied to a personal journey marked by resilience. Like many performers who rose to fame early, Kelly Jo faced career pressures, industry slowdowns, and the challenge of balancing professional ambitions with family commitments. Instead of clinging to the spotlight, she chose a path of peace and stability, allowing her life to evolve beyond Hollywood's relentless demands. That choice didn't overshadow her talent. If anything, it highlighted her authenticity and self-awareness. In Any honest then and now reflection connected to the In Living Color era, Kelly Jo Minter stands out as one of the most striking examples of change. Her evolution hasn't been dramatic or loud, it has been steady, real, and deeply human. Fans may find her almost unrecognizable compared to her 1990s screen persona, but her journey reveals a woman who embraced growth, maturity, and a life lived on her own terms. Anne Marie Johnson. Anne Marie Johnson brought a refined intelligence and effortless charm to every project she touched, and her appearances connected to the In Living Color era added a unique layer of sophistication to the show's comedic landscape. In the early 1990s, she was already a familiar face, known for her work on What's Happening Now and her acclaimed role as Althea Tibbs on In the Heat of the Night. She carried herself with striking poise, tall, graceful, and expressive, with a presence that commanded attention even in the most chaotic comedy sketches. Her early career look was polished and elegant, marked by soft curls, bright eyes, and a confidence that came from years of navigating the industry with both talent and discipline. As time moved forward, Anne Marie Johnson built a career defined by longevity and versatility. She continued acting across film and television, appearing in shows like Girlfriend's Castle NCIS and The In-Between, while also becoming a powerful advocate within Hollywood. Her involvement in SAG-AFTRA, including serving as a long-standing union leader and board member, showcased a deeper side of her, the committed professional determined to improve conditions for performers, especially women and actors of color. Along the way, her appearance naturally evolved, reflecting maturity, dignity, and a profound sense of self. The youthful brightness gave way to a sophisticated, refined presence that radiates both authority and warmth. Her transformation speaks to a life shaped by discipline, activism, and perseverance. Anne-Marie has always balanced artistry with responsibility, often choosing roles or commitments that reflected her values rather than chasing the trends of the moment. That balance enriched her career and deepened her influence. She continued to work consistently through the decades, proving that longevity in Hollywood isn't only about reinvention, it's also about integrity. And while she stepped away from the fast pace of early comedy sketch work, she remained a powerful, steady figure in the entertainment world. In a then and now look connected to the In Living Color generation, Anne-Marie Johnson stands out as a transformation rooted not in drastic change, but in graceful evolution. To viewers who remember her youthful elegance of the early 90s, her 2025 presence may feel almost unrecognizable at first glance, more seasoned, more serious, and more commanding. Yet her core remains the same: talented, thoughtful, articulate, and unwavering in her commitment to both craft and community. Her journey reflects a career and a life built on purpose. Tommy "Tiny" Lister. Tommy "Tiny" Lister was one of those rare performers whose presence filled a room before he even spoke. Towering at 6'5" with a wrestler's build and an unforgettable glare, he became a familiar face in the 80s and 90s, often appearing in films and shows tied to the era of In Living Color. Though not a regular cast member, he moved in the same creative orbit, guesting on comedy programs, collaborating with emerging Black entertainers, and becoming part of the broader cultural moment that shaped early 1990s television. In those days, Tiny was instantly recognizable: broad shoulders, shaved head, and the intimidating stare that helped make him iconic in roles across action comedy and cult classics alike. As his career expanded, Lister's versatility surprised many. While audiences knew him best as the menacing Debo in Friday 1995, he also worked steadily in genres ranging from sci-fi, The Fifth Element, to family films and faith-based projects. Over time, his physical appearance shifted subtly, still imposing but carrying the natural signs of age and years of intense physical work. Even as he grew older, that deep voice and unmistakable silhouette remained unchanged. And despite his tough on-screen persona, colleagues consistently described him as gentle, humorous, and generous behind the scenes, a stark contrast to the villains he portrayed. His life journey reflected both discipline and determination. Before acting, Lister competed in collegiate track and field and briefly ventured into professional wrestling. Transitioning into Hollywood required resilience, especially during a time when roles for Black actors, particularly ones of his size, were often limited or typecast. Yet Tiny carved out a career that lasted over 3 decades, working consistently and building a reputation as a dependable, hard-working performer. His ability to shift between intimidating figures and warm comedic characters demonstrated a range that was often overlooked, but deeply respected by those who worked with him. In any then and now reflection tied to the In Living Color era, Tommy "Tiny" Lister stands out as a transformation marked not by reinvention, but by impact. By the time of his passing in 2020 at age 62, he had become a cultural fixture, an actor whose face and presence were etched into the memories of an entire generation. To those who remember his early work, his later life appearance may seem almost unrecognizable, softened by age and experience. Yet his influence remains unmistakable, a towering figure whose legacy lives on in the film's characters and unforgettable moments he left behind. Kim Coles. Kim Coles entered the comedy world with a warmth and charisma that made her instantly memorable, and her connection to the In Living Color era helped shape the landscape of Black television comedy in the early 1990s. With a radiant smile, expressive eyes, and a naturally upbeat energy, she stood out among a generation of rising performers. In her early career, Kim embodied a youthful vibrancy, curvy, stylish, and full of comedic confidence. Whether appearing in sketch shows, guest roles, or early stand-up, she carried a playful charm that resonated with audiences. Her timing was sharp, her delivery effortless, and her sense of humor refreshingly relatable. Many fans from that era still picture her as the bright, bubbly young comedian whose laugh could light up an entire room. As the years moved forward, Kim Coles evolved into a multifaceted entertainer whose contributions extended far beyond early comedy appearances. She achieved widespread recognition as Sinclair on the hit sitcom Living Single 1993-1998, a role that showcased her comedic sweetness alongside unexpected depth. Her appearance naturally transformed with maturity. The youthful roundness of her face gave way to a more refined profile, and her style shifted toward elegance, bold colors, and a self-assured presence. She embraced her natural hair, her curves, and her identity with pride, becoming a role model for authenticity and self-love. To fans who remember her playful 1990s persona, the poised, confident woman she is now can feel like a dramatic yet inspiring evolution. Behind her transformation is a journey marked by emotional growth and resilience. Kim navigated the challenges of Hollywood, including shifting opportunities, typecasting, and the constant pressure placed on Black women in entertainment. Instead of allowing these hurdles to define her, she carved out a life rooted in empowerment. She became an author, a speaker, and a life coach, helping others discover joy, purpose, and confidence. Her storytelling, both comedic and inspirational, reflects the wisdom of someone who has learned to thrive by embracing every version of herself. In any then and now reflection tied to the In Living Color generation, Kim Coles stands out as a transformation shaped not by reinvention, but by personal expansion. To longtime fans, her 2025 presence may seem almost unrecognizable compared to the bubbly comedian they first fell in love with, but her spirit remains unmistakable. She grew from a rising comic into a deeply grounded, empowering voice whose legacy continues to resonate far beyond the stage. Orlando Jones. Orlando Jones emerged in the 1990s as part of the new wave of sharp, fearless comedic talent connected to the In Living Color era. Though he was best known as an original cast member of MAD-TV, his early stand-up work writing gigs and appearances across Fox's comedy landscape placed him firmly within the same creative circle that reshaped sketch comedy for a generation. In those early years, Orlando was instantly recognizable, lean, fast-talking, and brilliantly expressive with wide eyes and an elastic face that could shift from deadpan to outrageous in seconds. His humor was razor-sharp, intellectual, and often subversive traits that made him stand out among the crowded field of rising comedians. To audiences who watched him in the mid-90s, he was the quintessential young comic, energetic, quick-witted, and impossible to ignore. As time went on, Orlando Jones evolved far beyond the boundaries of sketch comedy. He developed a diverse acting career, earning acclaim for dramatic and genre roles like Mr. Nancy in American Gods, where his commanding presence and fiery monologues stunned both old fans and newcomers. His appearance changed as well. The youthful, almost hyperactive look gave way to a more mature, sculpted image, often enhanced by a beard, deeper voice, and a gravitas that could fill the screen. Gone was the wide-eyed comic of the 90s, replaced by an actor with a powerful, almost mythic presence. The transformation is striking, especially for viewers who remember his early characters and commercial work. Behind this evolution is a story of artistic independence and resilience. Orlando Jones has frequently chosen complex and challenging roles, often speaking openly about industry politics, representation, and creative freedom. His career took bold turns, stepping away from certain projects, reinventing himself through stand-up voice acting, writing, and producing. That journey required courage in an industry known for typecasting, especially for Black performers. Yet each shift added layers to his craft, strengthening both his artistry and his voice. In a then and now reflection tied to the In Living Color era and its surrounding cultural moment, Orlando Jones stands out as one of the most dramatic transformations. The high-energy comedian of the 1990s has become a powerful, serious actor whose presence feels almost entirely different from his early days. To longtime fans, his 2025 self may seem nearly unrecognizable at first glance, but his intelligence, creativity, and fearless approach to storytelling remain unmistakably his. So as we look back at these remarkable journeys from comedy pioneers to cultural icons, one question remains: who changed the most and why? Was it time, fame, struggle, or growth that made some of these legends nearly unrecognizable today? Their transformations reveal more than aging. They expose stories of resilience, reinvention, and legacy. And now, the conversation is yours. Which evolution surprised you the most, and who do you believe deserves deeper recognition? Let the debate begin right here on Legends of Black Excellence.